The Crown Prince. Oh man, I know she'd ruin my life, but I'm about to not take my own advice to heart. I can change her. What an uncircumcised hell is this? Oh god, it's consuming her. I wonder, will she be one of the characters within this party that... No, okay. I was like, maybe she'll be the... You know, we shouldn't judge a book by its cover. So every season we get some sort of like banished from the hero party shows, and to be honest, while they get clowned on a lot as being the same, there's been quite a few over the past couple of years that have turned out to be pretty solid and sometimes even pretty great. But these aren't guaranteed. Like, I think honestly your average Isekai has a better track record than these whole banished hero stories. But something that's been happening more often is these double episode premieres. The unfortunate thing is that the shows that don't need 2 episodes to be released, because 1 episode is more than enough to hook you in, are getting the double episode premiere, and the shows that would greatly benefit from having more than 1 episode right away available to really show you what the show is capable of, are getting 1 episode premiere. I left this first episode with the impression it's perfectly mid. Banished Court Magician didn't do anything I haven't seen before. Production was pretty good, and the fight scenes were fun, and, you know, Alec as a character didn't piss me off, but I saw nothing here that, if I was your average anime fan, that would have given me the incentive to go watch episode 2. As a YouTuber, as a content creator, yeah, I'll do it for the videos. But if they would have dropped 2 episodes, we would have had a much better understanding of what the show wanted to be. And while if you're just kind of fantasy trash, isekai trash, that type of fan, you might just naturally check out episode 2 anyway, but with how many shows air on the weekend, I think a lot of people are going to tap out on this unless, you know, someone like me comes up here next week and says, oh my god, this is insane. So I think they messed up by not doing that double premiere, and I get it. It's not always up to them. It's, you know, up to, like, scheduling and everything, but it's just... Here's the thing. If this show legitimately actually is good, and potentially even great, maybe, hell, maybe even amazing, the 1 episode premiere did it an insanely big disservice, because right now, I'm fine with it as it is, but if fans of the series are like, no, I swear to god, this show's great, first episode didn't really deliver it to make it feel that way, and I think for a lot of people, they're going to be a lot harsher than I will be. But you make sure you drop a like on this video, help show your support, subscribe if you're new around here, and Patrons, where we catch my full live reactions to all this and more, if you also want to help fund the channel and videos just like these. So, I do leave this first episode saying I will watch episode 2, but I truly think a lot of people are going to skip out on this, and this is where I really need source readers to come in. Is this a good show? Like, I don't need the incentive to watch episode 2, but I'm truly interested. Like, I don't need spoilers, I don't need like, oh my god, here's this big character moment Alec will do. But does this get better than what the first episode delivers? Like, that's the question of the week. Because right now, there's a few elements I like a lot. The flashback stuff with him being trained by this court magician, basically he looks him dead in the eye and says, I don't have to train you. You will get insanely strong someday. And then after some years, he's like, alright, I'm leaving the force. My parting words to you are never join up as a court magician. The politics of this world, adios amigo. And then Alex says, I'm gonna become a court magician. Granted, he has the kind of like noble idea of if I join up, I can change it from the inside, blah, blah, blah. And then immediately gets his ass, you know, kicked out. So he graduated from the top of his class, but unfortunately, the prince that he was working with basically thinks he did nothing. It seems to me most likely what was happening is that he was probably like healing the party and shit so fast before they even realized they were hurt, so it makes them think they were doing nothing. I've seen that before in different shows, and I assume that's probably what was happening. And usually with these shows, your MC that's like banished or kicked out of a party are weak as hell, or at least they think that, but are actually strong. So that's like the trope. So far, there's elements of him thinking he's useless, but it doesn't feel as, like, on the nose, I'm pathetic, I got no skills. Like, he was literally raised to say that you're good, he had good grades, so, like, he might be a little bummed out right now and a little down his luck, but I don't think he's going to be as much of a I suck as you often see. Granted, episode 2 could come out and that's all he does, and boy would there be pie on my face. But I can only judge with what I've seen, and like 6 out of 10 times it feels like he doesn't think he's as weak as other people indicate. There's like 1 or 2 remarks where he says he's weak, but that's kind of besides the point. Then the episode is like this fun little party dynamic. They got little handshake gestures, and yeah, they kill like a Hydra thing. And what is nice, and I know this is a surface level compliment, but it has to be said, Very rarely in these shows is it not an all-female supporting cast. There's another guy in the party. Stuff like a new saga, Free Ren, sure, also does that, and I assume does it better, but I have to admit that is one of the reasons the poster caught my eye. I was like, oh, banished hero, but it's not just waifus galore. Hell, maybe he'll be a husbando, I don't know, but still, props where props is due. It's interesting because at face value, sometimes this show, I'm like, oh, this is going to be kind of like the underproduced show of the season. The character designs are solid, but like it's not going to be that well animated. And then they honestly surprised me with a couple of fights there. I was like, oh, okay. First you had like the hornet mosquito things and the fire attacks, and I was like, that's surprisingly good. And it's not even just the magical effects, which you can sometimes get around with like a lack of animation by just doing effects. He also was stabbing fools and stuff. And then the very end of the episode, you have the, I don't even know what it is, but it reminds me of a Hydra, and that shit looked good too. Overall, the action animation is surprisingly fun. And if this was a show where there's a lot of dungeon crawling action, I could see a decent amount of people watching it just for the thrill factor there. The biggest thing is nothing about this first episode is new. Often with shows, I'll be like, oh, this reminds me of this, but here's this slight detour. Currently, there's no slight detour. It's pretty much all the stuff you've seen before. And for that reason, people will say, well, why should I watch it? And to be honest, I don't have a good answer for you. That's why I'm leaving it up to the comments section. As a content creator, I will check out episode 2 because it has potential, but the issue is that I'm currently leaving the first episode with the same impression I walked into it, where I read the synopsis, I think I watched the trailer, I can't remember, but I said, it could be generic nothing, but there's potential. These shows do have potential. It's just, honestly, as monkey brain as it sounds, if it wasn't for how good the production is, I might have tapped out as well this episode. But the action does look pretty fun, and Alec as a character isn't the worst I've seen. He's obviously not exceptional so far, but I actually really like the dude who was training him in the past, and honestly, there's enough setup like, hey, I made a promise to your mom, that's why I did this. The setup's there, but goddamn, this not having a double premiere does it a disservice. Hell, I could leave episode 2 and I have the same thought, like, it's fine. And if there's too many of these episodes where I'm like, it's fine, but it's still not doing anything new, I will tap out. But I'm going to give it an honest fair shake at the end of the day. But am I going to be surprised if most people write the show off after episode 1 saying it's mid whatever? No. Am I going to be surprised by people who love the Banished Hero stuff saying, hey, I still really like it? Also, no, I get it. For me, generic isekai usually are fine. Banished Hero Party stuff aren't the thing I latch onto quite as much, but I have liked most that I've checked out. I don't know if this is going to be a great one. And I think with how much is airing on the weekend, I can't as a content creator say, as it stands, this is a must-watch. Right now I'm saying check back in next week, and then I might have an answer for you. But if source readers legitimately like this one, and it's better than the first episode made it out to be, please let us know, because usually I'm pretty good at saying, hey, you know, still some good... It's mid. It's enjoyable mid, but it's mid. And I don't know. We'll see where it goes. You can let me know what you thought down below, especially from an anime-only perspective. Like, you think I'm being too harsh, or, hell, I'm sure some people say I'm glazing it too hard. You can never win on the internet, but let me know your thoughts. Drop a like, show your support, though. Subscribe if you're new around here on Patreon's where you catch my full live reactions to all this and more. Like, hey, I also like to give video shoutouts to my patrons. So today we got BioZero, Newchurd, Furious the Hip Hop, Deezer, Allo, Winkov, Gonzago, SLF Needs More Love, and we also have James Villers. I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. Y'all have a good one.